All right, we're live on YouTube.
Yo, we still got somewhere else to go live, or we start?
TikTok still is being slow.
All right, cool. Let me know when to start the show. Yo, YouTube, we in here, man. Just getting situated on the situation as it's situated. Soon as it's situated, we will situate you. A lot of dope topics today. I got K from Fine Productions in here with me, but we'll get to that in a minute. Minuto. If you are live with us right now, let us know how we sound. I don't care what platform we are on. Please let us know if we coming through loud and clear for you. We don't want to neglect anybody. We will be reviewing all chats, so feel free to tap in and give your opinion respectfully. I mean, you know, you can be disrespectful, but we tend to ignore those. So we would love to talk to you. Yeah, we live, baby. We live, baby. Shout out to C Cash. I feel like I'm gonna call him in a little bit. I need a little bit of his feedback about something, so to speak. Are y'all watching the WNBA finals? Mind you, I'm still just chopping it with y'all until we get right with the get right. But are y'all watching the WNBA finals? We have playoffs on our board, but it's actually the finals. We're gonna talk a little bit about that in a bit.
I have championship on the graphic. I just put playoffs because it was from last week.
All good. MLB Championship.
MLB is the playoffs, not the championship.
Playoffs. All right.
Well, it's not the World Series. It's the league championships.
Yeah, it's the league championship. I'm about to say it's the, what's the name? LCS? What, NLC? What is going on? Yeah, NLCS. National League Champion. Right?
NLC.
NLC.
And the ALC.
ALC. No, it's the series is the S.
Okay.
They said it on the broadcast.
That's
I didn't
fine.
make that up. I'm not that creative. I was actually
All
trying
right, we're finally live on TikTok.
Hey, TikTok, what's happening? YouTube, y'all still there?
All right.
Yo, Twitch.
Let's start the show.
Let's start the show. Let's get busy, baby. Hey.
Come on and slide with Sammy. I'm sipping.
This is Sippin' with Sammy. I am Mr. Fly Shit Only, the one and only Sippin' with Sammy. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rooga. If you ain't sippin' with Sammy, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together.
Damn, Sammy, you done fucked up.
Thanks, Sammy.
Yeah, boy.
Yup! Happy Monday, happy hour, all that flyness. We are live. Hopefully y'all are live with us. But even if y'all catch it late, we appreciate, by all means necessary, we do appreciate. Please like, share, subscribe, comment if you're in the chat. Let us know where you at. Let us know what you sipping on. I do appreciate that. Shout out to everybody that's popping in right now. I see y'all hopping in on the stream. We got a lot of great topics today, man. And I got K from Font Productions in the building with me.
Hey. How you doing today?
I'm decent. How about yourself?
Living the dream?
Living the dream as usual. We're going to get you to dream a little bigger this time. Just a little bigger, Because your dream is way too attainable at this point. I'm just saying.
Because I live it every day?
Yes, man. It's too crazy. Like, at some point, we got to strive for greater. But it's cool. As long as you happy, we happy. We happy. What's up with y'all in the chat? Like I said, let me know where you at, what you sipping on, and what you got going on. We got some topics today.
Shout out to Nori already in the chat.
Shout outs. Salute. What's that say?
59 cents, question mark?
59 cents.
I don't get it, but
I don't know. I know that's how much a McDonald's hamburger used to cost. And I was thinking that earlier. I wonder if that's equivalent. Would you read my mind?
that's crazy.
That would be crazy. But you want to jump into the weekend recap?
Sure, we can get into the weekend
Weekend.
recap. Why don't you go first?
The hell did I do this weekend? I ain't really do nothing. I was on ice. A lot of the topics is what I did this weekend besides networking and sending emails and such. We actually wound up with Saturday having an opening on Saturday that we didn't expect to have because we had something booked for that. So I didn't do much this weekend, but Kay has been busy as hell.
Let me show you what I did this weekend.
Show us what you did this weekend and people can see this.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
All right. Yeah, this weekend was pretty decent. I took 2 naps yesterday. I set a record. It was crazy. Shout out to me. Shout out to nobody getting days off when it becomes Indigenous Peoples Day. That's crazy.
All right. Here we go. Here's what I did this weekend. Let me turn on the audio for y'all.
Oh, we can play audio.
Let me turn off the audio. Fuck
Right.
that.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think you about to... Oh, Trump was the... Isaiah. That was Isaiah, right?
Yeah, that was Isaiah.
Shout out Isaiah. Man, uptown. This is very interesting. Looked like a dope event, though. Nice crowd. People vibing. Think I know her, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what y'all did. What is this?
So this is an event called Slay the Vote. And it was put together by my PR guy, Corey Aversa. It included 50 artists, 100 different creators came out. And when I say creators, I mean a lot of different podcasters, influencers, folks who make content from all around the region. And so some of the folks that you saw in the video was Black Panther / Walking Dead actress Denai Guerrera, I believe. Guerrera. As well as Shanice, who is playing Michelle Obama in the Obama musical coming out to Philly on October 29th.
Interesting.
There were a bunch of different activations that you could check out and take pictures with. Great catering, great drinks. It was just a great situation and a really fun time. So that's how I spent my Friday, putting that event together with Corey and his team. I was basically his right hand for the day, and we pulled it all off.
Congratulations. Was this a proud event?
It wasn't technically a pride event, but it was, it was a lot of those themes and spirits.
I mean, no disrespect. I was just watching the video.
Yeah, no, it was definitely an event that it was called Slay the Vote. So they were
also
playing up to the drag and coming out month and all of that stuff. So
looks like a very dope event, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it definitely celebrated the LGBTQ community.
Fire, man. Glad y'all had another successful event. You keep knocking them down. Feel like every week you got another joint we celebrating, but and salute to Corey.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Salute to Corey. So yeah, that was my Friday. And then my Saturday and Sunday, I actually had off, which was splendid, and I got to catch up on, getting my life together, so to speak. All the things that I don't do because I'm too busy working, I got to catch up on. So it was nice.
I heard that. So let's get into these topics, man. Anything in the chat we need to get to first?
Joseph Ward is in the chat.
Yo, Joe.
He said some weird stuff.
Okay. Keep being weird, Joe.
Yep, keep being weird.
Word. So back to it. Let's get to these topics.
All right. Well, I guess we should start with Kai.
Oh yeah, let's start with Kai. Grab my props. So.
Oh, go ahead.
Kay's gonna introduce the topic.
Oh. So Kai has a new meal released with McDonald's called the Chicken Big Mac, which is, in theory, exactly what it sounds like. It is all the ingredients of a Big Mac, but instead of the beef patty, it is chicken patties. So we wanted to taste test the situation. So I'm going to turn it over to Sam for the taste test.
All right, so shout out to Kai and shout out to everybody else because I think everybody on the internet is doing this taste test for this one. It's probably one of the most interesting collaborations, definitely one of the most publicized ones that we've seen in out of the run of all of these entities getting these collaborations from our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is, do we taste the throwback first or afterwards? Because we do have a plain Big Mac here also, which we have cut in half for a comparison. Chat, what do you think? Do we do the beef Big Mac first or the chicken first? What do you say? 1 for beef, 2 for chicken. 1 for beef, 2 for chicken. 1 for beef, 2 for chicken. Which one should we taste first? We got multiple chats going on, so please believe if you don't see it on your side, we see it on somebody's side. But let us know. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
I see it too.
I see 2. Word. Have you tried it? Anybody tried it so far? Let us know. Have you had it? What do you think? Are you afraid of it? I like asking that because some people just get weirded out by like different mixes of classic stuff, right?
Well, so let's break down what this chicken situation looks like. Let's start with the chicken.
All right. You got the camera on me?
Yeah, I got the camera on you.
All right. So the chicken Big Mac, oh, still warm. Shout out to that. It literally looks like Big Mac, but light skin. Very light skin. We're going to zoom in or something with my camera.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's interesting that it's 2 chicken patties, but only 1 piece of cheese.
It is only 1 piece of cheese. Did they sell us out on this one? Is this how it's supposed to look?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a Big Mac, so that's why I'm like, is this how the Big Mac is too?
2
or is
all
that
beef
just...
patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Don't say how many pieces of cheese. Hold on. Let me check the other Big Mac. It's still only 1 piece of cheese on this one. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
there's a cheese shortage.
Maybe the Big Mac only has 1 piece of cheese.
Maybe. So you ready to try this chicken pup and see what it do?
Mm-hmm.
All right, please. Let's remember not to chew into the mic. People, we going in.
What do you think?
First thing that popped in my mind is it's not a Big Mac. Pretty good. Not bad. What you think?
It tastes like a Big McChicken.
A Big McChicken.
Mm-hmm.
But it has Big Mac $1,000 sauce on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that Big Mac $1,000 sauce makes everything from McDonald's taste a little better.
I'll give you that.
My secret, back in my college days when I was on a budget, that thing was flying away from me. I used to get 2 double cheeseburgers because they was $1 at the time with Big Mac sauce. That way, it was a different double cheeseburger than yesterday. See what I'm saying? You got to fool yourself sometime. Well, that was my regimen. That's why I don't really eat McDonald's that much now. So now we're going to taste the beef pup and make a decision on. Are you still eating?
Yeah.
Oh, you munching because there ain't no camera on you.
Mm-hmm.
Selfish decay. Fair to say she likes it.
Yeah. I'd fuck with it.
Out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9 because there's always room for improvement.
Another slice of cheese, maybe?
Yeah, another slice of cheese.
Grape jelly? What?
I think
I'm joking with the grape jelly, y'all. Don't kill me.
I think if it could be like Arby's style chicken instead of McDonald's chicken, that would be a huge upgrade. But you know, for a McDonald's chicken sandwich, yeah, it's probably the best McDonald's chicken sandwich I've had. I'll go that much.
You just told on yourself with the Arby's.
Yo, Arby's had really good chicken. I don't know what you're talking about.
Who went? And who didn't get roast beef when they went? Chat, y'all ate the Arby's?
I ate the Arby's.
I give it I got it about a smooth 7.8.
7.8. That's oddly specific.
Like an 8. Something like an 8. Now,
The beef.
you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You can talk while I'm doing it.
Oh, well, I didn't realize it took that much concentration to get a sandwich out of a box.
Well, I had to decide which one to hand you. Here you go.
See, now I couldn't talk.
Because I didn't want to hold one in my hand while I wait for you to get situated. All right, so now, for the record, we have the original Le Big Mac. And since we ain't savages, we going to split this one and compare it to the chicken Big Mac, Le Cenat.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going in. I'm going in.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go first.
It's tough because mine's really saucy.
Mm-hmm.
Like really saucy.
Mm-hmm.
Too much saucy.
That's too much sauce.
Too much sauce
Mm.
on mine. But I honestly think that the beef does go better with the sauce than the chicken does.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe overall the Big Mac is better. The original.
Mm-hmm.
However, I personally prefer chicken. So I think I like the chicken version best.
Because it's not a Big Mac,
Right.
right?
Right.
Something like a Big Mac. I can feel you. Yeah, I think it's like a draw. I think it really becomes like what kind of mood I'm in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the chicken is new, and I've been trying to go more less dark meat as possible. I'm not cutting anything out of my diet yet, but I try to scale back a lot of things. So I think I would go chicken more, but we know that this is only available for a limited time. So y'all go ahead and taste it. Let us know what y'all think. But who knows? You know how fast food go. It do enough numbers. 3 months later, it'll be on the menu. Like, I thought we was going, but backed by popular demand. And it might be around, especially when everybody wants to outdo each other with chicken sandwiches. I heard the new challenge is chicken strips, but that was like KFC or something. Anyway, next topic. You still eating again?
No, but before we move on,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about the whole promo situation that Kai's been doing?
I think Kai and McDonald's have been bodying the promo. I think that, you know how you want creative control or you want to at least work with an entity that understands your brand?
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the two, if not both, happened in this situation. I think the way that they're presenting it, I think him having it on the stream, pulling it up to the McD's, all of that. Like, it even went viral that when he went to go buy one, he couldn't pay for it. Like, that went viral, that they didn't charge it. It's like the ultimate promo. Like, I'm sure they got their money's worth already out of this young man. And he might have a re-up in his future. Or this shows, McDonald's one of the biggest international brands. This shows something that somebody else might want to spend some money with him so that he can represent their conglomerate. Right?
The funny thing is, I haven't seen, outside of the internet telling me that this is Kai's meal, like nothing on the McDonald's app or the McDonald's website says like, oh, buy the Kai meal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really telling about the reach that Kai Cenat really has. That this is really going viral and McDonald's is not the one pushing it from my standpoint.
I think it shows. I think Kai understands that what level he's at, and that even if they not gonna push it, you got to show him your power. And we never know. His deal with them might be incentive based, right? And if it's incentive based, then he's running his race. But even if not, it's a smart business move. Sometimes people pay you something, you still gotta give them a little bit more, just to show how good a partner you can be. And it showed the capabilities of what your machine or your team is able to do too. I think that's important because it's like how they say if you walk in a room with a Rolex, they know they can't buy you for cheap. Like whether that's 100% true or not, there's still a thing of showing that you're self-sufficient when you're dealing with the big dogs. To be like, I might not got what y'all got, but I don't need nothing from y'all. This is what we do over here. So I love what we did together, but just think bigger next time. Back up the Brinks truck. And for all we know, they did. I just see him in a commercial for the NBA. The season starting with the NBA with them, man. I seen him in a Snoop commercial, unless that was the same commercial. Kai is out here now. He out here.
Oh, Kai's getting big money.
He out here. Shout out to that league he did. He did a lot for them young men. They had fun. You know. He like superseding the NIL shit. Like, I'm gonna get a bunch of 8-year-olds and get some light on them now. And a lot of them had light on them, but that was still fly to see.
Definitely.
Fly to see.
Definitely. All right.
Absolutely.
Where you want to go?
And shout out for Phantom for all. Yo, I laughed so hard at the John Cena situation with Kai when Phantom was on the screen. He is just talented as hell, yo. He's super funny. After that, let's get into the WNBA playoffs, man. Let's get a lady some shine at the top.
All right.
The WNBA finals. My apologies. It's a big deal, right?
Let's talk about the ship.
You know what I mean? You talk about the biggest deal on the situation at the top.
That part.
No, shout out to these young ladies though. I've been having a blast all playoffs, all season.
Absolutely. So, the championship series is officially tied 1-1, with yesterday's game going to the Liberty 80-66. But the first game ended up going to the Lynx in a very, very close battle. They took the game 95-93. We ended up watching both games, of course. They next play on Wednesday, and then again on Friday, and finally Sunday if need be. So with all of that in mind, what do you think about the series so far, and what are your predictions for how it's going to turn out?
First of all, I got to acknowledge the fact that if you've been paying attention to our live streams, I've been saying that I wanted the Aces to win the championship this year so that Asia could have a complete season with, checking off all the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was disappointed when they lost to the Liberty. But they lost to the Liberty. And when I saw that they was going up against the Lynx, I'm re-energized again. I'm like, that's cool. Let's get these Lynx to get them out of here then, since they took Asia out. Like, so I'm all Lynx right now. So I'm just starting it with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Feast, that's my folk. I bang with Fisa, man. She get busy. Nafisa Collier is a animal. She's young Carmelo Anthony out there. I don't know, but I love her game. But with that being said,
Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year, #1. But with that being said, the Lynx look way better against the Liberty than the Aces did, yo. I gotta concede that. I have to concede that.
The Lynx just have a different type of ball movement than what the Aces were able to register. Like, the Aces were really relying on Asia to just dominate. And when Asia was getting locked up and was double teamed the majority of the time and was no longer an option, they really fell apart as a team. Whereas the Lynx, even if Nafisa is getting tied up, they have amazing guards. Courtney Williams is
going nuts,
freaking phenomenal.
And her backup, the little one with the
Heidemann or whatever.
Yeah, she tough.
She's tough too.
And it's not even about the buckets. She works.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about their entire team. They all play defense. They all work hard. They all are constantly in motion.
Who the other little round faced girl that look like Nafisa? She be balling too. And she don't never say nothing. Her facial expression don't never change. She get busy every night. Every night. Because it don't take 20 points. She's consistently a dog every night. And you never get no emotion out of her, one way or another. You looking her up?
I'm trying to, yeah.
I mean, it's not super important, but if you find it, cool. But like, no, I like the links. I do think that this is going 5. It's best out of 5, right?
Yeah.
Think this is going 5. I mean, unless the links take it, it's going 5.
Oh, I think you're talking about Kayla McBride.
McBride, that's her. She look just like a little cousin, and they be out there beasting. I love it, yo. I love their game. But I like New York a lot too. I like New York a lot. I mean, they got Sabrina, they got Stewie, they got monsters over there. But Stewie blew it at the end of the first game. And in the second game, she looked like she wasn't going for that shit no more. Game 2, Stewie was locked in.
Well, what was that video that you sent me? That somebody said for any other 2-time MVP, we wouldn't be accepting this type of championship performance.
Absolutely. And Stephen A actually called her out on it and got backlash. But not too many people said anything about it. Everybody looked over it because I think what's going on is you still dealing with early investment into the WNBA. So even a lot of the people that have platforms that talk about the WNBA, they're not as invested in her past as they are in what she's doing now. So it doesn't feel the same as when you see somebody, grow to that point. I think that's part of the problem. What you think?
Well, I also think that you got to keep in mind that as much as the Liberty is a great team and Stewie's been that player, they still don't have a championship. So
That's why she's supposed to get grounded up.
yes, but if you haven't been there before, if you don't have that winner's mentality and you've been playing in the league for as long as Stewie has, like...
Stewie's the champion, though, before the league.
Sure, but she hasn't proved it in the league, and I don't think that that's necessarily... I don't think that this year out of all the years is like, oh, you got to grind her up harder. Like, I think that maybe that's just not... She's not the player that you need to turn to turn it up during the playoffs.
I think that she had a horrible showing in a big moment. Might have been lights too bright. Anything might have been personal. We don't know. It happens, right? But I think she made up for it in game 2. And we'll see how she handles the rest of these. But when you comment on things game by game, you have to point out that she didn't come through when she was supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a thing. Like, it happened. It was ringing. It was like, Stewie, wake up. Stewie. Oh, she blew the layup? Oh, my God. You know what I mean? It was like that.
And speaking of coming through, how about Lainey Hamilton
Man.
from the Liberty?
Fresh off injury.
She came in off the bench. She did not start game 2, and she ended up taking a majority of the playing time.
What she
Ended
wound
up
up
with like
18 or 20 or something like that?
I think more than that. She ended up with 32 minutes and 20 points.
20. Yeah, she had 20.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember the last points that I saw on the screen physically, and I'd be like, I know they had more than that, but I don't be wanting to give somebody 30. Like, so I'd be like, it's like 18, 20.
Sabrina was actually a little quiet in game 2. She only had 15.
Yep. And so was the
Jonquel Jones. Only had 14.
No, Jonquel actually had a good game. She just didn't have a lot of points.
Yeah.
Jonquel played great. What's the girl off the bench? The Russian girl or something?
Vandersloot.
Vandersloot. She wasn't that firecracker that she usually is, but she was out there. But we've seen her come in games and really like turn shit up, especially last series.
Yeah.
But I think she's due for one too. She's due for one. Sabrina's probably gonna go nuts next game. It's gonna be a goodie.
I just love seeing
But they got a committee that's the point of being deep.
I love seeing the defense between like Feast and Stewie like going at each other and actually, playing one-on-one for the majority of the game. Like, it's crazy to watch. This is just a fire matchup.
No, it's dope. It's great basketball being played. Sometimes it's frustrating because it's like, yo, that was you missed the simple thing and went for something that was like, why? But that happens too. And like you say, these are high pressure situations. I've played in championships, never professionally. And everybody's not of the same energy and mind state in those situations. Sometimes you literally got to get smacked out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. Not me for a sec, because I love the lights. Give me the lights, baby. But I've seen it. I've seen some great people like We had to wake him up at halftime.
Shout out M Wash in the chat. He's
Wash.
laughing at your grape jelly joke from earlier.
Grape jelly. Yeah, but shout out to the WNBA. Shout out to the Lynx and the Liberty. I think I'm giving out a lot of WNBA merch for Christmas. I don't know.
That's gonna be the theme.
It might be a theme for me, man, because I see so much dope stuff and I don't need all of it. And I want to support. I've been trying to get the orange hoodie for a while. I wasn't physically trying. I was saying it. So now I feel like I got to get a few. And I seen one better than the orange one. That's orange.
Oh.
Yeah. So somebody will get it. Maybe even me. And watch, baby. Where we want to go now? You want to stay in the sports?
Let's talk about the altercation in sports.
Yeah, let's do that. Did you check that out?
I checked it out.
All right.
Which is not what this photo is from. But
No. It's a throwback.
yeah. When you search their name, you can't really find a good photo of the current situation. So
Because it was a melee.
yeah. So I'll let you introduce this one though.
So what we seen from what's the name play for now? DiVincenzo play for now. He got traded to Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota played the Knicks last night. So DiVincenzo, there's a clip of him on a foul line and he's going back and forth with the bench. And I think DiVincenzo went nuts last night. If I'm not mistaken, he might have like 40.
For him.
But he was on a foul line and they say he was talking to Tibbs, the head coach. And he was saying, this is what happens when you in charge. This is what happens when you in charge, or something to that effect. And then you hear Rick Brunson barking from the bench back at him. And after the game is over, the two had to be separated because Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson's dad, who was also assistant coach for the Knicks, was charging at DiVincenzo. Now, there's a lot of reasons that this is very, very, very interesting. Because we talked about him getting traded and how, like, you know, it's hard to keep all four of your college homeboys on one team. But is it more to this story than we've been privy to?
It kind of looks that way, right?
It looks like DiVincenzo might have won it out and got his wish and wind up in a situation that might be very beneficial to him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think that him going to Minnesota, he's definitely gonna get more minutes. He's going to have a bigger role in the way that the offense is run, and I think that after seeing this altercation, I feel like there's a little bit more going on at the Knicks than what we realized, and maybe Jalen Brunson's stardom has been
I hear you.
assisted.
It's crazy because, like, ultimately, right, you won championships with Jalen. Y'all had great run and introduced each other to the NBA in a way that was phenomenal after being separated but coming back together, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all brought more light to each other. That was dope. Mm-hmm. But that's your homeboy, quote-unquote homeboy, Pop.
Right.
So for him to be that heated at you and for you to continue to go back and forth with him, there has to be a breakdown with him and Jalen at some point, right?
I would think so. I
don't like to assume too much, but the optics of it, what happened was crazy.
Yeah.
And it looked like Rick felt like a player again. Like he was trying to bulldoze.
I don't know what was said, but it looked nuts.
It looked crazy. And like I said, the initial thing you see is DiVincenzo on a foul line saying this is what happens when you're in charge. And everybody has reported since then that was not directed towards Rick Brunson. It was directed towards Tibbs, where if I'm an assistant coach, I'll take that fade for you. That's cool. But just the dynamic of, like, you feel like this man has been around DiVincenzo for 8 years of his life. 7, 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like one of your sons at that point. Like, so it's just real interesting to see. Hopefully, Rick Brunson speaks on it. I haven't seen him speak on it yet, but I would love to see what he got to say about it because he usually is pretty blunt. Matter of fact, Mark Jackson, bring him back on your show and ask him. It's a great episode with Mark Jackson, Blue, Rick, and Jalen Brunson on the Come and Talk to Me network with Cameron and them. It was a great interview. Y'all should check that out. Dynamic between two father and son duos. It was dope. And both sons grew up basically in the NBA. Even though one made it and one didn't. But Blue wasn't no slouch. Blue played for Coach K. He's a motherfucker. So next.
Let's take a break from sports. Let's go into something else.
Let's go into one of your topics.
All right. You know I don't have many left.
Yeah, Kanye rumors and lawsuit is yours?
Yeah, we can talk about that. All right, so have you been paying attention to all of the rumors that have been going on about Kanye recently?
I've been paying attention to rumors. All of the rumors is a stretch.
Okay. So there's been a lot. There's been Kanye is on his way to a divorce, that him and Bianca are living in separate countries. He's moving to Japan full time. And then there's, more nefarious stuff going on, that his ex-assistant filed a lawsuit claiming sexual abuse and other allegations. There was like a Diddy party involved. Lots of things. So what have you heard?
As far as the allegations go, that story is really interesting because she had a prior lawsuit and now she's tying this one into Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
But her story was something to the effect of she went to the studio with an artist she represented, and in order to stay in the session, they said you had to drink. And then she felt funny, woke up the next day not really knowing what happened, and felt embarrassed about it because she figured 9 times out of 10 she embarrassed herself professionally the night before.
Mm-hmm.
She says that later on, Kanye tells her about what happened that night in detail and who was involved in it, but not in a way of like trying to implicate anybody. More so probably like trying to act as if, or maybe he wasn't privy to the fact that she was possibly slipped something or whatever have you. But he was saying it like, so to speak, like just to have a conversation, like he was talking to her about it, and she said that jogged her main memory, and I guess that leads to why she didn't initially say something, because she wasn't sure what happened and she was embarrassed is her rationale for it. So that's what I heard.
That sounds about. That's basically what I heard.
It's just crazy.
So, and then going back to the Bianca stuff, one of the other articles that I saw today was that Kanye's kink is having sex with the mother of the person that he desires. So he was propositioning Bianca to have sex with Bianca's mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Billionaire shit.
And Bianca wasn't having it, so Bianca would like threaten to have sex with other people, and this was part of Bianca like retreating and trying to get away from the situation, was what this article was saying. Now, granted, this is like a tabloid style article, so
yeah, that sounds wild.
Grain of salt, but
what's interesting about that, and I don't know if you've ever seen this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like the quarterback and the cheerleader, the it girl and the boss guy, right? And my situation is more of a street relationship, but I'm just trying to give an example of like the energy of the two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody that was a couple, and I knew both of them very well, and they were beautiful, like handsome guy, beautiful girl, lot going good for themselves, probably like the alphas of their friend groups. But when they used to argue, they used to threaten to be like, All right, well, let's see who can get more bitches, or call your ex and see what they say. I'm gonna call mine. Like, they used to play them games with each other.
Oh God.
And I've like been around it. I'm like, yo, this is the most toxic shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, y'all about to go to the black book on each other? Like, that's weird. Or like go out and be together but not together and competing. Some companies are very strange. I mean, some couples are very strange. And this was not a billionaire and a model. So you know, the higher you go up the tax bracket, the stranger shit get, right? But I know a hood couple that used to do that shit to each other all the time. And I've seen similar things played out when you watch some of these reality shows, like clips or reunions and stuff. There's ways that they do this at the upper echelon that you might not identify unless you know what it is, right? Like a key party.
Oh.
You see how you said, oh?
Uh-huh.
That's a term that you identify. You see what I'm saying? But if they said, oh, we went to a key party last night, 80% of the audience has no idea what that meant. So yeah, it's some strange stuff that if you know, you know. If you hear it, you hear it. If you see it, you see it. If you see certain dynamics like this, Kanye walks around with women that walk with their head down, not allowed to talk to anybody barefoot.
Well, so I just checked, and now E! News is actually reporting the thing that I just said about Kanye allegedly telling his wife that he wanted to have sex with her mom.
Well, the thing is, he told y'all that he's super perv boy. He told y'all he couldn't stay off the newsstands buying porno mags and all of that. Like, the boys, man, he lost his virginity probably with Amber. I don't want to say that. He had money before that, but I'm just saying, like, he a different type of individual.
Well, so that's the latest.
And he
with
got
Kanye.
access to money. That shit might be possible. Her mom might have winked at him. Like, you never know. Her mom might have got drunk and sat on his lap. That should be happening. It get weird, yo. It get real weird, especially when I paid for everything tonight and you had the time of your life. He is a billionaire. So you get off that helicopter, fall right in his arms. Dinner was amazing, sweetie.
Oh God. All right, let's move on.
I'm just saying. Seen stranger things.
What are we moving on to?
I guess another altercation? No, let's go to Bow Wow.
All right.
Did you see this?
No.
So Bow Wow's in an interview, and similar to like a lot of people when they speak about 45 or Diddy or a lot of people that they may or may not be willing to admit their fondness for. He and this is the clip, but they said he actually was saying that Diddy's fall from grace was what was really bothering him. But what's going viral is him saying, you know, like BT weekend ain't gonna be no parties. Like, I miss Diddy parties. Like, he was an icon of like the nightlife. And a lot of people think that regardless of, you know, whatever else he said around it being fair to say, they think that with the whole emphasizing missing the parties and BET weekend not going to be as lit was a little tone deaf. But what was funny to me is, similar to Wayne, Bow Wow is always tone deaf. Like, always tone deaf. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't understand whatever. Like, he doesn't switch up for what's going on in the times. He speaks to what he believes, whether that's right or wrong. And there has been times when I've seen him be apologetic for being wrong. But 9 times out of 10, it's just Bow Wow's opinion. It ain't hurting nobody, right? But what do you think about him publicly saying, like, yeah, but the parties, though, like, like, you know, BET weekend coming.
I mean, it's definitely tone deaf, but it's Bow Wow, so I wasn't expecting anything profound. No, I mean, and we all know that, like, Bow Wow was around Diddy, and, like, that was his style. So it's not, I'm not necessarily implicating that Bow Wow has stayed late at those parties or entered other rooms at those parties and done nefarious things.
He was very young
according
around Diddy, though.
to the allegations. Yes, he was. But I don't think that this was that scenario. I think that Bow Wow like legitimately just had a good time and considered Diddy a friend. And
All right, flip side. Let's have a real conversation, right?
mm-hmm.
There is audio of Wayne and Baby admitting that when Wayne was 13, 14, he was 12, he was young. He was a virgin, and Baby said, "Yeah, I got Wayne little dick sucked by a grown woman." Right? Bow also grew up around Jermaine, Diddy, and them. We know he was messing with models that was grown and actresses and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that abuse to subject these young entertainers to that? Is that one of those ploys that's going to become something that hits under a microscope soon about how people are groomed in the industry? Like, is the flip side going to become a thing?
Well, yes. So let me start by saying yes. I think it's something that is coming under a microscope now. It's something that people are definitely starting to examine harder, but back in those days, it was part of the culture. It was an understood, unsaid, or sometimes even blatantly said part of being in entertainment. Like even in rock and roll, you talk about like the roadies and the groupies and the situations that go on there. In rap, in hip hop, it was big parties. Like look at the music videos, look at the types of imagery that you're conjuring up when you associate with hip hop. So none of this is surprising. It's just part of what it was. And yes, it is going to come under a harder microscope now.
We also got to remember about Bow Wow. He was on tour with Snoop when he was, 6?
Yeah.
Like, this a different type of lifestyle. Like, different type of individual. I think people remember when he was popping. But they don't remember that Snoop named him Bow Wow before he got to Jermaine.
And to be clear, I think that this style of, like, the way that you treat people that you have sexual feelings for, this mentality is something that is taught. Mm-hmm. I think that it was taught from somebody to Diddy.
I'm hearing a lot about who, too. There's more than one name, but go ahead.
But I think that he also taught that culture to a lot of other people. And because he was so big, it became a part of the culture.
When somebody that's winning that much is doing something that way, it becomes the way.
And he wasn't the only person who was doing these types of things.
By far.
He is the latest in a slew of people, some of which we've talked about in the last year, who are doing these types of things. But when there's so many people, so many big, powerful people who are all acting this way.
And the industries overlap.
And treating sexual encounters as transactions and in a very, like, derogatory way, it that becomes the culture, and some people accept it and thrive with it. Others don't.
You know why it becomes confusing? And I just thought about this, something that I don't know, maybe it hasn't been said this way, right? A lot of these tactics are juvenile. Getting somebody inebriated to try to get your way or whatever have you.
Yeah.
This is stuff that once you're out of college, you know what I mean? Like you feel like you got all your guards up and I'm not even in that world no more, right?
Right.
But for people with so much money and access, right? You always want to say the access thing because that's what the money brings. You would think that they operate at a stratosphere where you could get maybe not whoever you want, but something very close to it to do whatever you want them to do without having to do something facetious. And I think people don't understand how you have people that are savages at this level, because even if you're a savage, you could get that facilitated. But I don't think you add up the sickness in these people to it when you think about it that way. But I think a lot of people think, more money, more better. So sick of what? This is the way. And that's why you hear a lot of people referring to Playboy Mansion and all that other stuff.
I mean, I think there's also a value to convenience. Like if it's set up for you, or if like you can just pay an amount of money and this downside of things goes away. Like, that becomes very appealing when you're a very powerful individual who doesn't have a lot of time on their hands.
But that becomes way more expensive than necessary. And I know.
But when you're making as much as they are, like.
Yeah, that should be disappearing and coming back tenfold before you even realize it disappeared in his situation. Because I know hand over fist type of shit he was into.
Right.
But like, it's just, I think that's where the disconnect comes with a lot of people, because it's like, man, whoever was a wire on him knew what it was and was with it. Because why would he have him around him? But it's like, no, there's a different type of play we find out about. And I always want to be careful, because I know, like, when they say some shit that happened in the streets and then they say it legally, they sound like two completely different things. Mm-hmm. Right? But some of these things is just like blatant and egregious, and at this point, like I said before, he gonna have to prove to me that he ain't do it. Not to me, but to the people, because I'm looking at him like Cassie alone makes me look at you crazy. The shit that Mace has not said and keeps alluding to makes me look at you crazy. And then there's a multitude of other things that's just rumors that's like, man, one more of these and I'm gonna start looking at you like the cops look at you.
It's gonna all come out after the trial, too.
Before that, that's the problem, too. They leaking stuff, and they about to prove that they leaked something, but it ain't gonna make no difference. They've been doing that forever. They leaking people interrogation videos. They not being hacked. We see everybody crying or whatever. It's crazy. So Bow Wow misses Diddy parties, man. Bow Wow, I hope you find a way to throw you a Diddy party without getting yourself in Diddy trouble. Like, that's what's crazy about it. BT weekend gonna be dry. Well, why the hell you ain't rent out of like, why you ain't figured something out?
Right.
Tricks and Zeke would have been running the whole play by now if they had your access to that.
Maybe Bow Wow doesn't have Diddy money.
Y'all can look up Tricks and Zeke. My boys is, they do it. Shout out to MSU. You want to talk about these nurses?
Yeah, let's get into it.
It's very weird, man. It's
sad.
Yo. That's why I'm like, I don't want to, like, but we got to acknowledge that, like, this city is fucking ridiculous.
So, this was last night, right?
Yeah.
Last night, 3 nurses were struck in a hit and run while treating a 28-year-old who had been shot. So what happened was this SUV pulls up to the emergency bay where the ambulances go and drops somebody out the car, and then another car pulls up behind them, probably following them from whatever altercation, shootout situation they just got in. And so the car that dropped off the person feels pinned. So instead of backing out, he drives over the person that he just dropped off and 3 nurses who were trying to help this person who had been shot. And one of the nurses, their head was driven over. So like they're in critical condition. It's not a good situation at all. But this whole scenario is fucked up. Prayers up to all of the nurses, and I hope that they have a speedy and full recovery.
And all the staff and people connected to them, their friends and family. That's ridiculous, man. And it's so selfish to me, because 9 times out of 10, we know what that was. Wound up in a situation, I got to get him there fast. But you ain't right. Whether that's license, burner, whatever you might have in the car, whatever have you. So you panic. But when you panic, you run over to people that leave their family every day to just help people all day.
Right.
Because you was in the middle of some nonsense 9 times. You was better off just leaving the truck. I don't even know a better way, but you harmed not only the person that you was trying to help, but all the people trying to help him. And this is triage. This is people seeing what's up, trying to get you in the building. This ain't like...
These are people that deal with gunshots every single day. Like,
it ain't that, like, it don't got to be that crazy. And that car that pulled up behind him was not the ops, for anybody that's confused. They wasn't that. I believe they back window was shot out, if I'm not mistaken. But they was following, probably checking on them. And he peeled. First of all, why did you pull up that tight in the first place? You already slipping. And I know about panicking and all that, but there's ways to play getting your man to the ER. Sometimes you gotta make it like he took himself. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's ways you do it. That was crazy. That was crazy. And when I say making it look like he took himself, sometimes you get a couple blocks from the hospital and be like, yo, you got it from here? And if he do, he do. But that's crazy, man. Prayers up for them. That really, like, we seen nurses get shot by coworkers in our hospitals in the city recently, right? Like, we've seen a lot that they go through when they just went through the most trying time, and we still haven't seen them get the appreciation for getting us through the COVID.
right.
No matter how much you believe in the COVID or whatever, they were overworked.
Yeah. That you can't argue with.
They were burning out. They're already in a burnout field if you know anything about high intensity stressful jobs. So this is just another thing. And it affects the whole hospital. Because guess what? From treating one patient, now we got 4 and an extra injury on the first one.
Yeah.
And we got to rush them all through. Priorities. That's crazy. You know what I mean? People that was in that emergency room got pushed back an hour or two. Like, it's a chain effect in a hospital. So, no, shout out to them, man. Salute to them. I'm waiting on a good report, but that one nurse that you spoke to that caught it really bad, it doesn't sound like they'll be regular again. And I'm praying for them to be functional and decent, because that's scary as hell, man. You take pride in your people being nurses and doctors, right? Your wife, your dad. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they out there, yeah. RN, CPA, you know what I mean? Not CPA, but you know what I mean. CPN and all of that. Like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like, who can you be more empathetic for, man? People that run into the fires. Like, it's the same type of thing. They put their health on the line every day. Every day. Look at you.
Up, man?
Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, get me out of here.
Let's have some fun. Talk about the NFL, okay?
All right. We could talk about the NFL. We could talk about the NFL.
Did you look into that FEMA thing?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did.
All right.
All right. So, week 6, baby.
Okay, let's get some rolls back in them cheeks. Let's go.
Week 6, baby. So, today's game, let me start with the game that has not happened yet, is the Bills versus the Jets. That takes place at 8:15.
Oh, all right, cool.
So, we have some time before that starts, but let's talk about the games that have happened. Whew. Week 6.
Has been a bonanza.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of offensive fun. Except for from the Eagles, but we'll get there.
Story of the season. Hey, now.
Right. So, the 49ers beat the Seahawks on Thursday night, 36-24.
They needed that.
Yes, they did. They definitely needed that win.
Really needed that.
And the Seahawks were hot so far this season, so
That was crazy.
for them to get that loss too, it's a big deal. The Bears beat the Jaguars 35-16.
Beat the brakes off of them.
And that was the London game this
Early
week.
morning, good breakfast game, like little brunch, like you know what I mean?
I like having an earlier morning game. I'm not gonna lie.
But all right, well, I got a topic. Go ahead.
Okay. The Buccaneers beat the Saints 51-27. The Ravens beat the Commanders 30-23. The Packers beat the Cardinals 34-13. The Colts beat the Titans 20-17. The Texans beat the Patriots 41-21. The Eagles beat the Browns 20-16. The Chargers beat the Broncos 26-16. The Steelers beat the Raiders 32-13. The Falcons beat the Panthers 38-20. The Lions beat the Cowboys 47-9. That game was crazy.
That was some bullshit.
And then the Bengals beat the Giants 17-7. Whew.
It was a hell of a week in football. A lot of teams won that needed to win.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit solidified that they really that.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys really solidified that. Fuck Jerry Jones' birthday. We gonna get you the worst loss since 1982, 88, some shit like that. But
The Lions said, yeah, we're them.
they said we need that. They should have danced on the start of where they was acting. They was throwing shit to linemen over and over again,
Right.
trying to get these niggas touchdowns. They was acting crazy, okay?
Yeah.
But
And prayers up
that's what
to-
actually made the game
to
still fun.
Hutchinson with
Yeah.
the injury.
Please pray for Hutchinson. He clearly,
It's a broken tibia.
yep. And
He was rushed into emergency surgery already, so.
yeah, that was crazy. I knew it was done before they went to the first commercial break, because soon as it happened, and they showed in one of the clips I saw today, he said I broke it. Like
Yeah.
But when he said it, he was taking his gloves off and his pads off his arms, and that's what I saw before they went to break. I said he's stripping. I said he's not going back in. He's stripping. I didn't know it was as severe as it was, but you know sometimes something pops. Like there's a lot of things that happen to let you know, oh, I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
And when they went to that first commercial break, I said, oh, he's done. When they came back and then went back to break, and then came back and he was still on the field, I was
Yeah.
scared for him. I was
Yeah.
really scared
That
for
looked
him.
real bad.
It felt like it was like the break that Paul George got or something. Like it felt like one of them. Because remember they said on the broadcast we would show y'all, but we saw it during the
Yeah.
commercial and we were not showing that again. And then they actually showed it from the higher back angle when they were showing the Dak sacks, because it was part of a sack. So they showed it from an angle where you couldn't really see what happened on the under part.
Okay.
I noticed that, but thank them for that, because I guess you got to show it because it was a sack, but we didn't want to see any other angle. but
Yeah,
that one.
no, I'm glad that they didn't show it.
No, I ain't know if you noticed that, but no, that was the thing. That was the thing. But my topic for you. Anything you want to say about this week? How'd you do in fantasy?
I won.
You good?
I'm good.
All right, cool.
I did just enough, but I made it through.
All right, so you decent.
Yeah.
Having all these games, because you mentioned enjoying the early morning game, which I think a lot of football fans do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Thursday night games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just like football went from only Sunday and Monday, if you cared about the Monday night game by the time that game rolled around in the season. So sometimes the Monday night game wouldn't even be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
To having access to all of these games, do you think it takes away from the excitement of the Monday night football? Is Monday night football still a thing more than just, oh, it's football on? Like at this point, you got all Saturday watching college, all Sunday watching NFL. Then you got Monday as a game or two, if you're lucky, because they've doubled up before, I think. And then you got Thursday.
I mean, I like Thursday night more than I like Monday night.
And I think Thursday becomes more exciting because it's not right after the weekend.
Yeah, I like Thursday night more than I like Monday night. But I
Okay.
appreciate spreading the games out a little bit so that you have the ability to watch other teams.
But the early games, like the game we speaking to, the morning game on Sunday, was because it was in London. These are the international games, and they only got one more.
Yeah.
So like that early morning thing, like, but you kind of get accustomed to that, and you see that's what the league is leaning towards, like working towards. So I think like Monday Night Football, even keep in mind all the networks are having a bidding war right now for all these sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
is Monday Night Football not as valuable? Even business-wise. Like, y'all keep watering down the field. I bought Monday Night Football when it was fired. I don't know what point they are in their negotiations now, but, like, does that exist too?
I'm sure it does. But there's clauses in contracts that allow you to... that, like, should prevent or allow for these types of things.
All right, cool.
That's my thought.
But I thought that was interesting because I did realize, like, even, like, you know, when you go to work, Monday Night Football don't feel the same to the sports fans that's talking about it first thing in the morning type of shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, Monday was always hit or miss because the season is already set up ahead of time. So depending on what your record and the other team record, you know what I mean? The interest varies on Monday anyway. But I feel like Thursday is like, oh, I need some football.
I still think like Monday, if it's a good team, I'll watch.
You probably always gonna watch.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a fantasy league.
Yeah. Like tonight, Bills versus Jets is kind of interesting matchup. I'll watch.
No, it's gonna be a good game. You got any players from these teams or no?
I do have someone from the Bills, Shakir, I believe is his last name. But he is potentially out for tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't checked today because he was on my bench anyway because he was potentially out. So all of my scores are already in for this week.
All right, cool. You know what I want to do now? I want to call somebody.
Okay.
You cool on that topic?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this Mickey Figgy on the phone. If they don't answer, that's my fault. I ain't give him a heads up. Kay done already put him on the screen though, huh?
I know who you're calling.
Alright, he ain't pick up, so maybe he'll call back and we'll be able to get to that topic when he calls back. But I had a topic on the board for my boy. See if he hit me back. I know he bonding with the baby right now, so that's why he not here tonight. Yeah, man. Let's talk about these clowns getting pressed.
Okay. Let's start with Adam.
Did you watch that?
No, this one I don't know anything about.
Word.
Well, I watched enough to get this clip.
You got a clip?
You see the screen?
Oh, you mean the screenshot? I thought you had a clip. I'm like, oh, you.
Well, no, it was a clip that I watched to get this screenshot.
To get that, I see what you mean. I'm picking up what you putting down. Okay. Where did I think this is it.
Instead of doing a podcast.
Now you racist.
I'm not a boxer.
Now it's racistness coming
and
out.
now you're going to play the race
You
card.
talking about cavemen? You racist, man.
I'm describing your brain,
You weird.
not your race.
You weird.
I'm going to ask you to leave.
That's cool. I'll leave. But I'm telling you, you a bitch.
I don't care.
Yeah, yo, that's a handsome guy.
Every time they say handsome guy, it means PDF file.
I'm gonna get up out of here. Don't touch me though.
Yeah, you're going to have to go.
Handsome guy.
You're going to have to go.
I bet you y'all he delete this out. I bet
You're
you
gonna have to
delete this
go.
out the interview.
You're going to have to go. Be
Handsome guy.
capable of acting like a
Handsome guy.
glass up. You can't act like
Handsome guy.
behave like a grown up.
Handsome shit.
Behave like a grown up, Rooga. Come on. Get the f out.
Cut you?
Get out of here.
You scared?
You're fired.
You's a handsome guy. Handsome guy.
Come on, dog.
Handsome guy.
Get the
You
f
got a soft ass security.
We're not.
Oh, my son.
That's crazy.
He's soft as hell.
Get out of here.
We can run the face. We can run the face.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So this is an interview between Adam 22 and Rooga. Rooga is affiliated with some people that don't really like Adam 22. So clearly what happens is Rooga goes through a third party, says he wants to come through. He got no problem with Adam. He just want to come show some love, kick it and all of that. And then when he gets in there, he starts pressing Adam. And he starts saying things, you know, that Adam doesn't want to hear. And Adam gets to the point where he's like, well, you know, you don't have to be here. And that's when Rooga goes on a full rant about Adam being a PDF file and basically trying to impose the point that nobody in there could do nothing with him, but he's willing to leave. So what he says is, he says, you need to get out. Before that clip that you heard, he said, you need to roll. He said, nah, I'll leave with no problem. And then the security walked up. He said, but don't touch me, though. And then security, like, backed down a little bit. And then he was like, whatever. And then he challenged the security. And then they come all down to the whole, you can shoot the fade. And what you hear is somebody saying, yo, don't do that. It was one of the people that was with Rooga that was saying, don't do that. But then when he's walking out, you see the guy that's sitting next to Adam, I'm not sure who he is, saying, damn, bro, I thought you said it was going to be cool. He was and I guess he's the one that booked the interview. But Adam has since responded, and, you know, he added sauce to it. No, you know, I was just telling him, like, I got security and I got a gun. Like, I don't have to fight anybody. You're talking about boxing. I'm not a boxer. But I think when these entities wind up in these situations, they keep doing dumb stuff. Like, he's saying, like, well, you know, your track record doesn't say that you beat people up or you shoot. Like, what does that mean in the moment?
Your track record.
Yeah, like, he starts talking about stuff like that. Like he's going by a Chicago report card from academics or something. Like, what do you mean this person's history doesn't say this, that, and the third? You mean this person wasn't foolishness enough to put everything they do on Front Street? Or do you mean that this person that possibly never did nothing in their life won't crack you right now? Like, I don't understand the logic that these people that a lot of platforms, a lot of black platforms bring them on and they have civilized conversations with them and they try to explain to them the dangers of the audience that they're dealing with, the artists that they're dealing with, the personalities that they're dealing with. And when they get in a situation, they try to make logic out of a world that's not logical. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that...
Like, do you think every time I got into something it made sense? Or does shit happen sometime?
Right.
And I don't even know what happened before I got to this situation, but clearly somebody had a problem with us that I never seen before.
Yeah, but Adam has always tried to logic his way out of every scenario where he's usually the one in the wrong.
And it's like, yo, you, and if you don't know, he waved the right flag to AD recently, a couple days ago. Says, you know, I miss my friend. It's not you, it's them. You know, all of that type of stuff. After going through something where everybody in No Jumper is being exposed for riding with Dejan when he got shot, allegedly, at No Jumper. And there's a lot going on over there. So now you reaching back to AD, which is crazy. And then this happens to you. But guess who would have got homie up out of there and already been shooting the fade before security got to get chumped? Batman. AD. Am I right or wrong?
True.
Guess who would have been walking from the back room like, yo, what cuz in there doing, man? Right? Like, stop, man. You lost a good thing. You had a superstar team that could have neutralized a lot of your issues. So now we just going to get to keep laughing at you. And you going to keep going live explaining stuff that doesn't make sense to any of the people that really understood what happened in front of you on camera.
Yep.
Then you got the Trap Lord Raw situation. Now, the Trap Lord situation is a little different. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because I don't believe it.
Well, what is the situation?
So, there's Trap Lord Ross, and he's sitting at a video game, which looks like Dave and Buster's. And Tay Savage walks up on him.
Bro, that stuff is already out there. I'm just finding the information for to put it together. So I'm a fan. Like, I'm a fan of your
So it basically goes like that. I'm not going to play much more because the audio is real sketchy and I don't want to do that to y'all. But you could basically hear what's going on. Trap Lord Ross
Is it just audio or is it video?
It's video too.
Okay.
Trap Lord Ross is sitting at a video game. Tay Savage walks up on him and he like, yo, I ain't fucking with. And Trap Lord Ross is saying repeatedly the thing that he says in all the podcasts and interviews he's been in, where he's saying like, I'm just a fan, bro. Like, I just want to support. I'm just a fan. And Tay Savage is saying, no, man, you getting us into some shit that's getting us into more shit. Don't say our name unless you promoting our music or something. You're not even promoting us. And they go back and forth. But what you start to realize as the video drags out, it's two very bad acting jobs. Because Trap Lord Ross was more creative when he was sitting across from Math Hoffa and pressed in a barbershop, for one. And two, it becomes very repetitive for nothing to really happen, right? But it looks like, and it went viral as Trap Lord Ross got pressed by Tay Savage. Then you rewind back. Trap Lord Ross did a video on Tay Savage and them. And Tay Savage's response, or maybe even before the video happened, he said, no, I want to do some work with him. I want to do content with him. Maybe we could do this a different way. FYI. For y'all that didn't know that. What do you think about it? That's why I said this one different. I think this was a skit.
I mean, now that you say it like that, I could see it being a skit because he did sound really calm. And he should not sound that calm in that scenario.
If you're a gangster pressing a white boy about your hood and he keeps repeating the same thing to you that's not satisfactory to you, you gonna keep the same energy?
I don't believe that. So that part was a little sketch to me. And especially if you're saying it got repetitive after a while, like there's no way that conversation gets repetitive before punches get thrown. Like, what are we talking about? Or voices get raised, something. Something needs to escalate.
Or I get frustrated and walk away because I can't do nothing to you because we on camera. Like we in arcade, they might see me like.
Yeah,
like something has to shift energy wise, and nothing was really shifting except like, damn, what's another way I could say this?
And even Tay Savage coming in that type of tone, like I don't know who he is necessarily, but I don't imagine that like if you're actually trying to confront somebody with no intention of physically harming them, that you would come in that hot. Like I would see, saying something slick or like, and then pressing them in like a low key type of way. It does feel a little actor-esque. Yeah, a little forced. I'm with you. I think it's fake. I think it's a skit.
Nah, that was a fair. I bang with that too. I like what you said there too. But I just thought it was interesting because a lot of people was taking it serious. Like I've even seen people say like how they caught Trap Lord Ross before they caught academics, and I'm like, yo,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what made me realize it was different because that wasn't a minor platform that posted that.
That's crazy.
And I was like, this joke got how many views? Oh, this is going to start a narrative. That's crazy.
Wow.
Like, I don't think y'all understood. I think, like, similar to the Boosie and T.I. video, I did watch that interview earlier, like, and we about to get into that with Dro and T.I. He explains in the interview that they are shooting content with their sons right now. And that the situation was kind of real, but it was staged at the same time. Like, the video shoot was real, but it was part of the content for the show, right?
Yeah.
Of their friendship with their two sons being friends and entertainers and stuff like that.
Speaking of, do you want to get into this
Young Dro
situation?
You know, that's my guy, man.
Why don't you introduce it while I go grab
my
a drink?
trunk gonna break the damn law. I ate the damn raw. He said, ain't nobody stay with my mom but a bunch of junkies. Nah, shout out Young Dro. T.I. and Young Dro was on Breakfast Club this morning. It aired, and it was hilarious. It was a great interview, actually, a great conversation. It's about an hour long, but everybody on there was entertaining. But early on in the conversation, Charlamagne likes to do wellness checks, so they get into Dro and Joe's sobriety, and they start talking about how he came about his sobriety and how long he's been sober and so forth and so on. And he was giving like generalizations of like reasons, like overview of the reason. And then K, what's his name?
K-Dog.
No, it's not K-Dog. It's K something. The comedian that be with T.I. all the time. He's off camera or off mic and like behind the cam, like, you know, in the background. And K-Dub yells out, "He got a bad pill." And then T.I. says 3 of them. But what's happening in this dynamic at the time is every time they're talking about the sobriety, it seems like Dro is trying to be serious and K-Dub keeps laughing in the background. So Charlemagne and Envy keep pointing out, why your homies keep laughing? Why is everything so funny? And then it gets to a point where Dro is still talking about the same thing. It's not a lot of time later. And he mentions that when he was going through his ailment and his sickness with the addiction, that his daughter was going through the same thing. And K-Dub busts out laughing again, which I don't think was directly connected to the daughter thing. And K-Dub actually says that it wasn't. But I think sometimes, like, when you turned up and he's a comedian, I think he probably had 50 million jokes in his head every time Dro says something. And he kind of, like, picked the wrong time to snicker or to laugh, so to speak, is the grace that I'm trying to actually give him. But I'll let y'all hear it for yourself.
Decide, or what got you into rehab? When was that call and said this is the time? Because I mean, for my whole career, when did you decide, or what got you into rehab? When was that call and said this is the time?
Shout out to
Because I
Breakfast
mean,
Club.
for my whole career, I would see Dro in the club with me every week, and Dro was performing. Dro was at every stage. You were the epitome of an artist because you were out.
Yeah. Well, I got tired, like, of the same things, like, you know what I mean, like, over and over again, getting high and saying I'm not getting high and, you know, repeating.
Like, hell, this man struggle. This man talking about it real, overcoming it real struggle.
Well, your crew doesn't do nothing but laugh. Like, even the damn T.I.'s like, welcome to Somerville. Like, nobody takes it serious.
But you know what, though?
What he say? A bad pill got him. He let it all go after that bad.
Still got it.
He's telling the truth. Like, nah, but you know, it was more than that. It was actually I overdosed. You feel what I'm saying? And I used this platform with the thank God to.
Mind you, K-Dub is a comedian.
Mechanics always laughing.
K-Dub is a dastardly individual.
So, guys, you almost overdosed.
Yo, I did. No, know what I mean? And all of these things happened. The overdose. My daughter was on drugs, and you know, career wise, I wasn't where I wanted.
What is this? What's up with your man?
Hey, you finna get slapped. I mean, we cool, but I slapped the shit by that. I'm just telling you, we
You ain't
cool.
gonna slap me now.
Now, what you want to do?
You ain't gonna slap me now.
What you want to do?
You gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let him take you out of your sober Dro. But you come on, man.
I'm here bankhead though.
I
Like,
want to. Hey, listen. Hey, man, you. Hey, listen. Hey, both of y'all. All y'all. Everybody came in there with me. Hey, look. Everybody came in there with me. Hey, look. Everybody came in there with me. Hey, look. Remember who you came in and remember what we doing here, man. Come on, man. Hey, get this together, bro. All right.
all right.
I'm sorry, guys.
First of all, Joe, congratulations on being 2 years sober.
I was saying
3, actually.
3. I'm approaching 4.
That's professionalism.
I didn't want to cut it off before he said 4 years. So congratulations to Dro on damn near 4 years of sobriety, man. We got to give it up for that. But it's a thing, and we talk about it all the time when you from the hood and when you from hip hop and all of that shit. We laugh at each other bullshit sometime, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, and you can tell me what you got from that, but I feel like his laughing at Dro, like they might laugh on the bus about the shit, rolled over into Dro feeling like, nigga, I'm talking about my daughter.
Yeah,
Right?
that was my take.
That was what happened.
Yeah.
But at that point, his reaction is justified. I was trying to figure out why K-Dub didn't turn down. once he said, I'm talking about my daughter. And then I realized, damn it, it's the Breakfast Club.
Right.
5 billion people going to see this shit when he just says you going to slap me. Right? But I think that what was dope about it and why I'm kind of glad that they kept it in the interview, because it's in the whole, it's they didn't clip it from the interview. They didn't steal that footage. It wasn't snuck out. It wasn't on nobody's cell phone. It was part of the interview. Is because of how T.I. handled the situation.
Right.
And I'll be honest, Dro immediately said, okay. Everybody in the background, the peanut gallery, so to speak, shut up. And maybe 20, not even 20, maybe 10, 15 minutes later in the interview, they're talking about something and Dro says, man, I want to apologize to my boy, yo. That's my man. I ain't going to slap nobody. That's my boy. I just wanted to apologize to him before we move on.
Right.
And I thought that was dope because I think even though he was talking and answering questions, a lot of the things were directed towards tips. So he had a little more time probably to think about it. And he probably wrapped his head around it and said, we was speeding. Let's slow down. You know?
Yeah.
I think that was dope. So anybody that sees this clip, realize the context to it and do also realize that it's worth watching the interview. But if you don't, there is a period far before the interview was over where Dro, it's not like they was winding down and Dro was like, oh yeah, and by the way, he cut conversation to make sure that he apologized to K-Dub and they got that clear, in front of the world. So respect to them, man.
That part.
Respect to where he is in his journey. And K, you remember what, 2 years ago we was partying next to Dro.
Yeah.
He had the lime green Yazamine on. I'm right next to him on the stage acting crazy.
Yep.
He was sober that night. That's crazy. Anyway, shout out to his sobriety, man. And he also said that his daughter's doing better. She works at a hospital now, and she's gotten herself together. And yeah, man, I just want to congratulate them on their journey. That's awesome.
That's good.
But he admitted that his daughter kind of fell into it the same way he did, and that they were supposed to check in to get treatment at the same time, but she wasn't ready, and he set the example. So it's just a lot you can gain from that conversation. I'm giving a lot away, but I ain't even told y'all nothing. I'm just telling you, like, that clip that's going viral should lead to y'all tapping into the whole conversation because it was a dope conversation, and it needs to be said more, man. People going through that shit.
Yeah.
People are going through it, and he's a celebrity that has to go through it and be honest with y'all about his weaknesses. You don't have to be, but he's choosing to be. So that's fire to me. So one more time. Crazy, right, Kay?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Crazy. But it was a funny moment. Nobody got hurt. And you knew nobody was going to get hurt because it was on the network. Where you want to go from there?
Let's get some of this politics stuff out the way. Let's start with Fema.
Yeah, please break this down. This nonsense, man. You motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, so I saw some of these reports. So in some areas, FEMA aid has been paused to those who are suffering the effects of the recent hurricanes due to threats from local militia groups and individuals at various levels of organization who are basically coming out with weapons and, making threats on the rescue workers' lives. And to me, this is absolutely insane. I completely understand that FEMA as a federal organization cannot send their workers into a political battlefield like that. So I understand that their decision to pause aid in some circumstances. But for those people who are doing this and making these threats and acting this type of way, like, this is the most asinine thing I've ever heard of in my life. I don't care who you plan on voting for or not voting for in November. If you are blocking aid resources from your neighbor, I don't see how that has anything to do with a ballot. And maybe that's just me, but
more with an agenda, though.
even with the agenda, like, I don't care. There are more important things than the freaking agenda right now.
No, I mean agenda. Like, see, the agenda of these kind of vigilantes ties into politics, but it's not politics. Is my point. Politics plays a part in making sure that they don't get classified for a RICO. But ultimately, their agenda is their agenda. To make things look and feel a certain kind of way is something that they do 3 years before the 4th year, is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the kind of agenda I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a political agenda. We tie it into that because they seem to have a lot of allies in there, and they play very closely, and we don't see them get the same reaction that people that do way less get from lesser circumstances or with different colors and hues. But their agenda is far beyond political. Politics is part of it, and it's always been part of it. Intimidation has always been part of it.
Yo, let those workers do their job.
Let those people get relief.
Right.
If y'all got a whole team of people that can mobilize and militarize, why y'all not setting up a fucking line and handing shit down the line to help people?
And I mean, let me be
How about
clear.
that?
So I have some friends who live in North Carolina, and they were very strongly affected, them and their neighbors, by the hurricane before Milton. Helene.
Yeah.
So they've been posting throughout their recovery process, and a lot of their posts have been like really positive things about coming together with their neighbors
Community.
to get stuff done, and like the resources that have been coming out there, like helicopters flying in new utility poles,
Stuff they're not telling you.
you know, the National Guard being called out, like all of these things that are happening to get these families, you know, some semblance of normalcy as quickly as possible.
Hope and progress.
Right. So there are really positive things that are happening, and these aid workers are a huge part of that. But so are like a lot of the communities coming together to get this work done themselves. So I do want to recognize all the positive things that are happening, because this is some fucking bullshit.
It's nonsense. And it's crazy. They politicize hurricanes.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to tie the militia only to politics, but it's all agenda based, and it all needs to be paid attention to. And it's certain people that turn a blind eye to it and certain people that don't. And y'all keep supporting the people that turn a blind eye to it, and it's going to be you next. You never know where these things are going to happen. And the crazy thing is, I thought about it the other day. There's still the motherfucker that threw paper towels at people.
Right.
And they darkest hour, he threw paper towels when they was flooded. You know what I'm liable to do if I just lost everything and you throw me a paper towel in the water?
Oh, you're gonna go off.
Are you serious? I ain't got nothing to lose. And I'm American, so we resort to what we resort to. I'm not as passive or as forgiving as them people. That's crazy.
All right.
Man, I'm at least gonna throw a shoe at you if I ain't got the energy to do nothing else. But I'm getting in trouble that day.
I'm
getting in trouble.
Talk to me about this audience member situation that he recently went through.
All right. So Dum Dum was on stage and he was giving a speech, and he was interrupted by it sounded like a lady. They identified it as a lady. Judging by his reaction, she was behind him, like amongst the the blacks for Trump and all
The
of
plants.
them. Yeah. She's somewhere behind him, maybe like off to the left a little bit of him.
Okay.
So that's the direction he turns in. And he says, which is very telling, and I don't know if people pick up on these cues he gives. He says, "That's very nice. That's very nice. Her mother loves me. Her father loves me. She's gonna go home to her mother, and she's gonna get punched in her fucking head, punched in her head and knocked out and dragged." It's something like to that effect.
Oh my God.
But he started it with, "Her mother loves me and her father loves me." He's alienating this new generation that doesn't like him.
Yeah.
That's what that statement means. And then he gave what he always does at these things when he gets interrupted or there's somebody in there that he doesn't agree with. He gave the green light to violently attack a woman. And I don't know her race at all. I'm assuming that she was probably white, but because he said her father and her mother loved me. But like, I'm not saying it because she was black or something like that. Like, I saw something this week where they said we have to stop saying that he's giving racist dog whistles and adhere to the bullhorns. There's not dog whistles no more. There's nothing subtle about it.
Right.
He literally said her mother and father love me. He don't know her.
Right.
You know what he know? Numbers.
Yep.
He knows which age group of white is on his side. In majority. And Charlamagne said something profound this morning when he said, how come all the numbers that they attacked them for what they did in the past races and what they need to do in this race, they're still not addressing the white women that voted 55% for him against Hillary, 50-something% for him in the next one.
All right.
They're not getting called to task. And I've been saying that. I said that a long time ago. They vote against their own best interests. Until hopefully recently when their bodies become directly affected by it. But in the past, that's the ones that ain't vote. They attacking black men. Black men vote 55% Democratic.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So that was that. And now we got the third 45 assassination attempt. They pulled somebody over not far from where Trump was at that was in an illegal car.
Oops.
With illegal guns, probably no license. He was doing all the wrong things. Like tags was wrong, everything was wrong. And they said he had an agenda. They said that it was the police commissioner or the sheriff said that he would like to classify it as an attempt on like they saved Trump from a third assassination attempt. Since then, I have seen reports that said Trump was not in danger at all.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
Long story short, that's what happened. Grand opening, grand closing. I don't want to draw no more attention to it. I just want to correct y'all on what's going on out here because they try to make it look like a superhero, and I don't see a scratch on his ear.
Right.
I can show you scratches from knife cuts when I was 7 years old.
Well, and I really feel like at this point that's becoming a part of the campaign strategy is to like continue to
Dun, 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 dun.
make him look like a hero and make people on the other side
Look weak.
villainized.
Well, everything is about making everybody that doesn't agree with you look weak when you're in his position. And the problem is they're saying openly now, if to support him is to support fascism. And that's coming from his own party. So it's getting bad out here. And the crazy thing is, you know when certain people say certain words, they're not speaking slang, they're speaking per the definition.
Right.
Or they would never be allowed to say it. They would never sleep well if they said it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's where we at now. So let's get into something else. Can I see if I can call the homie again? Let me see what happens, man. Maybe he's just like, you know what? I'm enjoying my son so much right now, my daughter. And I'm good with that. But I'm gonna try again for y'all. It's crazy because motherfuckers pulled me over at work talking about this shit today, and I wasn't there. You know, motherfuckers assume you be at everything. They're like, why you ain't go? I'm like, bro, I ain't want. Yeah, it's over for him. We'll talk to him next week about it. But I'm like, man, I ain't want to stand up for 8 hours. He's like, 8 hours? I said, bro, it's supposed to start at such and such. It started at 6. It was over at after midnight. He's like, for real? I'm like, that's how all of them be.
Right. That's
why they got a problem with venues.
That's how it always is.
Why you out of with battles in the parking lot? But let's get into the MLB finals. Playoffs.
Yeah. So the championship, the league championship series is going on. So not the World Series, but the league championship series.
So there is an S on that.
Yes.
I told you.
So the league championship series is going on, and it is the Mets versus the Dodgers for the National League. And it is Who is it?
It's
The Guardians versus the
who
Who
the
are they
hell?
playing?
Who is the Guardians, yo?
The Guardians versus the Yankees.
Who the hell are the Guardians? Like
Cleveland.
that's what I yo. I
They
heard
changed their name.
Wow, yo.
Yeah. So that's what's been throwing me off. It's the Guardians versus the Yankees.
The Guardians versus the Yankees. Yeah, they play
And the
right
Dodgers versus the Mets.
Now.
Yes.
They playing now.
So, right now, game 1 for the Guardians versus the Yankees is today. That begins right now. And in the other series, the series is actually tied now 1-1. After the Dodgers won the first game, and then the Mets tied it up today, beating the Dodgers 7-3. So who do you think is going to win each of these series and ultimately take the World Series?
Well, I know that motherfucking Dodgers and Mets series is crazy. Do you see what's his name? Ohtani?
Mm-hmm.
And you see what the Mets just did to the Phillies. What's the boy name from them with the beads?
Lindor? Is that his name?
Man, they say MVP every time you tie his shoes.
Yeah.
And you go against Ohtani?
Yeah.
Ohtani got what, 54 and 58 this season? Something crazy like that? 55 and 59? Home runs and bases stolen?
I'd like to see the Mets beat the Dodgers.
I don't really have a dog in a fight. I think it's just going to be a great series.
It would be fun to see a New York versus New York World Series.
Is that...
If the Yankees win and the Mets win.
That really could happen, huh?
That could happen, yeah.
But... what's their name? The Commodores?
Come here. No, the
Guardians of the Galaxy ass
Guardians.
Like, yo, that shit just sound like a WNBA team. It sound like an XFL team. It sound weird. It's like a G League team.
Yeah, I don't understand why they decided that was going to be the name.
But like, I was hearing reports of people talking about, like, I literally, like, you know, you turn to something and they like, yeah, the Guardians, and I'm like, I'll wait till. Then I'm like, oh, they talk about baseball, like the MLB. I thought y'all talking about soccer or something. Like, I heard it a couple times and was confused. I ain't gonna lie.
I guess, but they couldn't continue to be the Cleveland Indians, so.
Guardians.
But the Guardians? Like, I would rather be like that.
The Valkyrie. Oh, my bad.
That Cleveland baseball team.
Cleveland baseball team. That's crazy. You know what's funny about it, though? I'm not gonna lie. When you put energy into marketing, you can make anything a household name. It's about how you carry it. It's about how you carry it. And be honest. Think about a lot of names. Restaurants, wrestlers, rappers, all type of names that are household names that's like, that don't even make no damn sense. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Some of these things become unnatural language based on somebody's weird ass name. No?
Yeah.
Or somebody's game. Fucking Snoop played the Fashizzle game so long that it's a part of fucking culture now.
That's so true.
Even for a joke every once in a while. Fashizzle. Like, oh. Throwback.
That's crazy.
So I did get feedback from C-Cash. Shout out to my guy, man. He's telling me that Youngin is fussy because he's teething right now. Part of the reason my man wasn't able to make it tonight. Like I said, he a real dad. But he's like, I don't want to kill the audio with how Fat Man acting right now. So shout out to my medicine ball, young boy over there keeping his dad busy. I appreciate you for that, man. Make sure you burn them calories before you go to sleep. That's what you're doing. That's what it is. Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to give an update on the cash.
Fair.
What you got going on?
Phew.
I want you to announce some stuff that you can't announce, but it's all right.
I can announce some things.
I need you to put your stamp on something else though. But go ahead.
Okay. So things have been going well business-wise. Like Sam says, I've been very, very busy recently. I've been taking on a lot of side gigs and helping folks out, building up the network, all of that type of stuff. So yeah, lots of new opportunities, new things on the horizon. If you haven't already checked out the latest Sippin' with Sammie podcast, we dropped episode 280 last week. It was our first highlight episode. So
something we've been plotting on for a minute. So let us know what y'all think about that.
Definitely. We highlighted a bunch of the Black filmmakers, directors, and screenwriters that we have interviewed over the years. So some of the interviews that are highlighted in there are back from like not the first 100, but the second 100 episodes.
Whew.
So
Sketchy.
yeah. It was fun to kind of dig through the vault and look back on what the set used to look like and how we used to do things and what's changed and all that stuff. So
we're gonna do more of that too.
Yeah, so make sure you guys check that out. Again, that is episode 280 that just dropped.
We are accepting interns too to do stuff like that.
Yes.
We are a legit business. We will get you situated.
Yes. And on top of that, on Friday, we also dropped the Trippin' with Sammie from Lovely Lay Beats fashion show at Harris Casino.
I got good feedback from her and Pops. They loved that.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure because I didn't hear anything. So
My bad. Yeah, they both hit me up separately in the last couple days.
Okay. Dope. So make sure that you check that out on the channel as well. That was a dope vibe, dope situation, and shout out to all the fashion designers because it was dope to see everybody come out and showcase some good brands.
No, it was a lot of fly shit.
Yeah.
A lot of fly shit. And shout out to the models. It was, man, you know how like you go to a fashion show that got like 100 models, 50 models. This might have been maybe a dozen at max. And you talking about every shape, size, body type of like flyness. It was out there. It's represented. It was dope. I feel like they had the right group of models. Sometimes it's hard to come by.
And
shout out to Nate Rodriguez out there with the Grizzly on.
That part.
Looking good, Nate.
In other font news, we started producing another podcast as well. So we have been working with the folks from the new podcast, RTO podcast, Restore the Order, with Mike Knox, Dutchy Man, and
Staff Bay.
Yeah, Staff Bay. And yeah, that's been a dope situation. So our first interview that we produced for them just dropped last week. That was with Kay Glizzy and Bumblebee. And I checked earlier this morning, it already had like over
15,000,
over 2,000 views. Yeah. Who knows? So shout out to them. Dope vibes, and hopefully you guys like the production.
No, good job on that, man. You killed that. That was a dope joint, dope episode. I'm a little anxious about something that wasn't included, but I understand business is business, money is money, hustle is hustle, stupid is stupid, you the dumbest is dumbest. Like, I get it, but like, man, K, and you know, like I know. Woo! We went viral in Philly today. They went viral in Philly today. But shout out to them gentlemen, man. All bosses, all people that I respect. Mike Knox is somebody that I'm new to being around, but he's actually a consummate professional and a gentleman, and I appreciate that from him. Staff is somebody I've known for a while, and Dutchy is somebody that I definitely have a relationship with. So it's dope to see them do their thing, and they got big things on the horizon. So it's dope to watch Kay and Fine Productions and even my little part in it. But like, it's just dope to see her participate in the world where it's like, oh no, you one of them now, baby. You giving them one of the looks of the looks for the peoples of the peoples, as you haven't really been able to speak to in the past so much. So I'm just glad you're able to acknowledge yourself this time. Salute to you.
Yeah, so that's been dope. We got more episodes coming, and that'll be fun.
Nah, it'll be interesting. It'll be really fun. I think a lot of dope locations too. So
Yeah.
y'all will love to see it. Just tap in with them, subscribe to their channel. They building, but they are building fast. So if you are an artist or somebody in a situation that knows them brothers, tap in with them now.
Yeah.
Tap in with them now.
And I think that this is also, it's going to force me to flex some different producer muscles than what I've done in the past, just because you and I have worked together from a podcast point of view for so long that I know what you want in terms of like visuals and content and those types of things. So there's not much communication that needs to happen between you and me in terms of like a client producer relationship. So I think it's going to make me work a little bit harder in some circumstances, but I think so far so good, and we've had a good communication thus far in terms of that type of things. So it'll be fun to just experience different locations and have to apply different production techniques to each of those locations depending on the different variables. I'm excited. Should be a good time.
No, I'm excited for both sides. I'm excited for them because I know that they all have very strong voices, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of network and all of that. So it's like I just want to see them run they play type of shit. It's like more so than knowing them personally, like just from a fan point of view, like just from a knowing them gentlemen and they journey type of shit. Like I want to see what they put together. I'm excited for people that get into this space that I think have strong voices. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for you for the same reasons that you just said. Also for you to put your stamp in something else that you can really put your stamp on, because you've been doing a lot of work out here, and a lot of it has been silent behind the scenes and all of that. And the people don't really know you a monster in these streets, man.
Yeah, recognition is not
What you care about.
at all.
Nah, because your motherfucking bank account say cha-ching.
You're right.
Nah, I know.
You know my priority.
I know, you know what I'm saying? You see her after 8, know she get paid great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shirts coming soon. But nah, another dope episode. Shout out to C Cash. We ain't mad at him. He he doing the best work.
Being a dad.
He doing the best work, and he doing a great job at it. But
That part.
anybody else we need to shout out?
Nope.
Episode coming this week,
Yep.
Sister Kalani.
Mm-hmm.
Very fire episode. Got to chop it up with her. We did a lot of laughing.
Yeah,
Whole
that
lot
was
of
actually honestly, that was one of those episodes that surprised me at how good it's gonna be. So I'm excited for the people to see it.
Yeah, she was fire, and she was actually I don't want to say actually, she was really open and forthcoming, and like, you know how sometimes you gotta pull things out of people, or you're trying to go somewhere and they like, oh, we ain't going there. I was avoiding stuff, and she was like, no, let's go there.
Right.
And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Let's So like it felt like Fab and Lil Mo. It's like, we just gonna keep it gangster then. Let's do it. And we had a great time. So look forward to that. I'm supposed to be shooting something very awesome with C Cash very soon, because he's releasing new projects and all of that. Y'all need to look forward to that. Y'all know my boy is fire. I believe I might be on this job. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna get to that soon. Can I say it?
What?
Talked to Asia Sparks recently. I don't know if y'all seen her recent, but she'll be through here very soon. We're going to do the Asia Sparks thing. I got a lot on the docket, man. Just stay tapped in with us. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all reply. Make sure y'all comment. I'll talk back. You talk to me, I'll talk back. I like to talk. Fuck it. Okay, anything else you want to say?
I did load up the channel on tons of shorts for this week, so make sure that you stay tuned. We have at least 2 shorts dropping a day. So there will be plenty of content coming out for you, and more clips on the horizon. No tripping this week, but probably next week, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we got a couple trippers in the tuck, actually, so
Yep.
some dope shit too. Dope.
We got 2 or 3 in the tuck, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some more coming for you.
Well, now that I am officially caught up in terms of my mental state from Festival World, I'll be back to my normal editing schedule. So best believe more content to come.
Yeah, man. So salute to everybody, man. We got a couple events coming up that I should have had on the docket, but we'll talk about them next week, man. Not our events. We gonna go support some folks. Y'all gotta come.
This is Sippin' with Sammy. I am Mr. Flash, and only the one and only Sippin' with Sammy.
cut it
Sam
out.
Malone, Barstool, Rooga. If
My
you ain't
dog
sippin'
is
with Sammy,
pushing
you ain't
my
sippin' right.
computer out.
Please get your fucking life together. This is Sippin' with. This is Sippin'. This is Sippin'.
Damn, Sammy, you done fucked up.
Thanks, Sammy.
Yeah, boy.
Fucking yuppie transplants. Move the fuck out. Get out of our fucking city. You ain't even fucking born here. Tired
At
of you
all.
motherfuckers.